All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is our friend, the host of CNBC's The Kudlow Report and the Larry Kudlow radio show, Larry Kudlow. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm all right. You know, here we go again. You never know. You go to bed late last night, you heard it before you went to bed like me, or if you wake up this morning, guess what? Obama has changed the law again. Now you have until mid-April at some point. If you're not signed up for Obamacare and you're trying desperately, but you can't for whatever reason, now forget that deadline that they were all talking about just yesterday. Now you got till mid-April, so sit back and relax. I wish they would do that with taxes once in a while.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
I mean, what? I mean, this is indicative of what?
This is indicative of the death of the individual mandate. This is yet another nail in the coffin. And the interesting part about, I mean, I can't tell you how much I oppose the individual mandate in the first place, so I'm glad it's dying. What is ironic to me is that it is President Obama and his minions who are killing the individual mandate. And this is another example of that. Look, I'm going to make a bet. I bet all along that they would extend March 31st, but reading the reports today, I don't believe there'll ever really be a deadline for enrolling or paying. I don't believe it. I looked at their outs. There are, significant gaps. If you can't get it done, or you got a divorce, or there's a whole bunch of things in there that will permit people to not do it, or else to do it when they get sick. That's the only time they're going to do it, and that's exactly what you don't want, because of course that makes an unbalanced package, and it's the sick and the elderly that pay the most, and the young people are supposed to finance them. The young people aren't signing up, and the people who are going to abuse this, and they probably have to. I'm not blaming them, but I'm just saying that they're the ones who are going to ultimately sign up in the weeks and months ahead if this thing continues. But that's all. That's all you're going to get. They're not going to get their $6 million. I don't know what they're going to get. They'll be lucky to get $4 million.
Well, you said 6. I mean, I heard that on CBS News driving in today, and I isn't it 7?
Well, it was originally 7. It was originally 7. Then Sebelius or somebody put it down to 6.
Oh boy.
People that I know in the insurance business are talking 4.
Yeah.
And of the 4,
20% aren't paying.
Well, at least. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of the 4, we don't even know who is uninsured. See, they won't tell us that. So they may not get newly uninsured people in this thing. You may, in terms of people that were not insured who actually sign up for this, it could be as low as $2 million. And I'm going to put in there, who paid, who hasn't paid, who's never going to pay. And if you combine this with the other extensions, right? The other extensions which were put up to 3 years. Remember, the cancellations can be renewed, and it was originally for 1 year. Then the renewals were put out to 3 years. But then we learned that if you had any hardship, all you had to do was sign a piece of paper and send it in, and you didn't have to do it at all. That could go on for years and years.
And I wonder if you have to do that under the under oath, the threat of perjury penalties to the IRS, the way employers, as dictated by President Obama, have to do when they lay off employees to swear that it's not to get under the limit for Obamacare.
Well, that's a good point. That's another phony aspect of this. Look, Obama is basically killing the individual mandate because of its unpopularity. He's basically killing the tax penalties because of its unpopularity. Now, I could have, if he had called me up 2 years ago, I could have saved him all this trouble and said it won't work, sir.
Now, have you ever gotten a call from the President of the United States? This president?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
We had dinner at George Will's house. I was one of the conservatives who were in that dinner before the first inauguration.
Right, I remember that.
That's
the
last time that I've had any contact with him, although I did talk to some of his people periodically. But my point is that this thing is dying of its own weight,
right,
and it's being pushed to death by the Obama policies because of their unpopularity and because they know they're going to get clobbered in the election. Look, let's face it, the midterm election is going to be basically a referendum, A, on Obamacare, which no one wants, and B, on the economy, which is very sluggish, substandard, subpar, and particularly the job situation. And there's evidence now that the economy, it isn't just weather, the economy may be going through another slowdown. So between the economy and Obamacare, the Democrats are going to get clobbered. Obama is trying to, ease the pain of Obamacare, but it won't work because people don't want it. Okay?
Right, and they don't realize it. Right, and unless he were to come out and say, standing next to Pelosi and Reid, we made a mistake, we're tearing it apart, we'll start again. He could delay it all he wants. They're still going to get clobbered in November.
That is correct. By the way, I guess it was 2 months ago, I wrote a column calling for a 3-year moratorium.
I remember, we had you on, yeah.
Yeah, a 3-year moratorium. And little did I know that the president himself was going to implement a 3-year moratorium.
Now, have you seen this one? That this is a piece today in the Weekly Standard by Jeffrey Anderson, that if your employer offers you insurance that doesn't provide what's on the list that Obama mandates, okay, it's subject to a fine of $36,500 a year. But if your employer doesn't offer you insurance at all, it's subject to a fine of $2,000 a year. So Obamacare penalizes wrong insurance, quote unquote, 18 times more than no insurance.
I hadn't seen that. I actually hadn't seen that.
Crazy stuff.
I'm going to take a look at that. But, the whole point, gosh, this latest thing, I mean, patients are, prospective patients are going to buy coverage, after they learn that they're sick, after they learn that they need new medical care, okay? That's the wrong self-selection. That's the wrong distribution. It's completely wrong. And by the way, I want to add to this, it's not insurance. It's not insurance. It's just a mechanism for paying the costs, the high costs of health care. Insurance should only apply to catastrophic. I don't get my car insurance unless, God forbid, I have a bad accident.
Right.
And that's the way health care should run, but it's not. This is a prepaid health care menu of coverage, and I might add, the menu of mandates has to be abolished. There should be no mandate. They should never have had mandates on this. I had Governor Perry on last night.
I saw that.
Interviewing. Yeah. And one of the points he makes is that the states should run this thing lock, stock, and barrel. And that means that the federal mandates and the federal taxes and so forth will not apply. And to let the states figure out what their people want. One size fits all is incorrect. And this is a principle, a very important principle. It's, yes, 10th Amendment federalism, but it's also just a principle of good health care. There's good health care coverage. What might work for I don't know who, in Maine doesn't necessarily work in Texas or California or whatever. So it's all wrong, and now the president has basically abolished the deadline. That's the deal here. That's as far as I'm concerned.
We got about a minute and a half left, so it's not fair. But you had mentioned that you believe the economy may be slowing down again. I know there were some numbers released today.
Yes.
So tell me what leads you to that conclusion.
The capital goods numbers for business investment are very poor, and they've been sloppy. We had 1 month or so, or a couple months ago, looked a little better. They're deteriorating again. Business investment has not had a recovery. It is still below where it was in 2008, okay? And they don't do it because they're worried about taxes and regulations, and they're worried about Obamacare.
And it's spelled with a big U, uncertainty.
Uncertainty, and you know what? That's the reason the job story is so weak.
Yeah.
Because it's long-term business building that creates jobs, factories, warehouses, office buildings. It's not happening. It's not happening because they don't trust the administration. And because the business investment is not happening, the job story is going.
You know where we need you, Larry? We need you in the White House as an advisor to, or in a bigger position than advisor to the next Republican president.
I was going to say, keep the faith, Steve. The better times are coming.
Okay.
Trust me on this.
Larry, thank you, sir. Thank you very
Anytime.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Larry Kudlow, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. He always chokes me up. When we come back, it's Gimme 5 on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax Television.
The Steve Malzberg Show.